Here is the Fort Smith Fireball, your champion of chicken, and your deluxe dueling DJ, Mark Lane.
The Weaker Thans, Sun in an Empty Room, right here on Free Association on Real College Radio, 91.3 FM, hosted by none other than yours truly, Mark Lane. Sun in an Empty Room. Well, the sun certainly isn't coming into an empty room here in Studio A. Before that, we had Murder by Death with On the Dark Streets Below, and then before that, we had DJ Drez and Marty Williams with I Look Fly. But apparently, I didn't look fly enough for a certain news station back home in Fort Smith. So let's get to internship update. As you well know, I applied for an internship at 7 radio stations and 2 TV stations back home in Fort Smith, Arkansas. So that's 9 seeds that I threw out there. And only one of them landed. I only got one call back, and it was from a TV news station. The news director called me last week and asked me some questions, and then I thought, well, great, you know, I might have an in. So I get an email Friday night. I think this was April 23rd. That was a Friday night, right? And I'll read it live. Dear Mark, thank you for applying for our summer internship program. Unfortunately, I don't feel you are the best fit for our program at this time. In other words, best fit. That means I don't have enough khaki pants, gelled hair, or pastel shirts at this time. Like there's going to be next time or something? What else? I know you're trying to figure out if you want to go into television, news, or radio, and that's good you were honest with me about that. I didn't say that. I said that I wanted to go into radio, but I was fascinated by all aspects of the media, meaning that I like TV news, whether I be on the camera or behind the camera, you know, the ugly person with the glasses writing the scripts. I enjoy radio, whether it be behind the microphone like I am with you now, or whether it be making the spots that you'll hear in about 2 minutes. What else? But I only have a few slots available, and I really need interns who want to be here, will work hard during that internship, and will ultimately take those lessons on into the world of broadcast journalism. Well, A, if I wasn't interested in the internship, I wouldn't have applied. B, if you have any questions about whether or not I work hard, ask them at RSU Public TV what the term pulling a mark means. And C, she might actually have a point with C, you know, because of the whole world of broadcast journalism thing. I don't know if that's where my future lies. Anyway, I wish you the best of luck. Signed... yeah, the best of luck. Like the luck of the Irish or something in here? Sure. Great. Well, there you go. There's an internship update for you. Boat with Tough Talking the Tulips right here on Free Association on 91.3 FM. Who's this voice? This is Mark Lane, and we've got 53 more minutes to go in the show. Now, if there's a song that you want to hear, please let me know about it at 343-7913. We've got some hits on the request line, but they've been, you know, the calls like, what song is this now? Or my favorite, the telemarketers. Oh, those automated calls really, really affect my inner peace. The only request so far that we've had is White Stripes with Dead Leaves on the Dirty Ground. But all right, you know, if you like what you hear, you like what you hear. Let me be clear. Let's be clear. Let's be on the level. Let's get down to brass tacks. I enjoy getting behind this microphone and pretending that I'm some sort of radio star. Okay? If you feel like there's a song that you want to hear, you're not getting something out of it, let me know at 343-7913. And, you know, I will help you, and you will get something out of this, too, you see? All right, since it's joke time, I was thinking for this joke time about those radio stations that I applied at and that other TV station that never called back. I was thinking, well, what did they do with my resume? Well, I came up with 7 suggestions for what they could do with my resume. So let's start with number 1. This is probably what happened to my resume. One radio station probably wrapped it in deli meat. Another thing that these radio stations could have done with my resume is making a paper airplane out of it. The third thing they could have done is fold it up and put it underneath a wobbly table in the break room. The fourth thing they could have done is printed a 1-page anti-capitalist screed on the back of my resume. It had to be 1 page, though. The fifth thing they could have done with it is fold it 2 ways and then use it as a coaster on their desk. The sixth thing they could have done with my resume is use it as spare nose tissue. And then the seventh thing they could have done with my resume, in all honesty, is file it in that circular file folder underneath their desk. Alright, here's Monsters of Folk with Whole Lot of Losing. Ah! Good one. Right here on Free Association. Nathan Maxwell with Working for the Man right here on Free Association with Mark Lane. And I work for you. Bill O'Reilly may look out for you, but I work for you. Yeah. Then before that we had Modest Mouse with Perpetual Motion Machine, which was a request, thus validating the claim that I made. And then before that we had Chris Joss with Danger Buds, all right here on 91.3 FM. And we had, somebody wanted me to take a request for Jethro Tull or something to that effect, and I wasn't able to get to that request because apparently that's a classic rock artist, and I'm not qualified to handle such things. No, really, today before I went in to start the show, I asked Radio Steve, I said, all right, I'm thinking of closing out my show with playing Bob Seger's Running Against the Wind, and talking over it, and, you know, just basically doing a riff on it while it's playing, and he said, no, you know, you're not qualified. What do you mean I'm not qualified? Well, you're not the rock doctor. So there you go. If you want to listen to classic rock or something to that effect, we have a great show called The Rock Doctor, which airs Monday nights from 11 to midnight right here on 91.3 FM, so I would advise listening to it then. But what was the riff going to be? Well, I was going to talk about how people that say they like the lone wolf type, people say that they, you know, the loner, they romanticize the loner. But have you ever noticed what happens whenever people get around a real loner? Have you ever noticed what happens when people do get around a true, authentic lone wolf? Yeah, they don't seem to like them at all. Why is that? Because people are sheep, that's why. Because people really just want to get along and go along. They want to be different like everyone else, and not be different like no one else. Those people that are different like no one else, those people who are not cogs, those people who do their own thing, they truly are a threat, and they truly are frightening to those who just want to get along and go along. And maybe that's why I wasn't able to get an internship. Maybe that's why, you know, I wasn't able to go back home this summer, was because I'm not a compliant sheep. I do my own thing, you know. I'm just a lone wolf in that regard. So, but there's a place for me here at RSU Radio. Why do I say that? Because we're true alternative music. You see how that works out? So this is a good fit for me. The thing is, I only got a year left. I have to use my experiences here at RSU to go out, to do something. And if I can't, well, we got a year to go. We've got a year to go. I don't know how this is going to turn out, and probably neither do you. So we'll see. Stay tuned to 91.3 FM the rest of the night, folks, so you can hear from 7 to 9, Tip Toasty and Riot Radio, from 9 to 11, KO and the New Music Show, from 11 to 2 a.m., Turbo and the Midnight Metal Meltdown. Do me a favor, I really appreciate and value those guys, and I would like you to listen to their shows, please, for me. And then after the break, we have Karen Kilowatt with a concert calendar and maybe something. And then we have hockey with Put the Game Down. That's what's coming up after the break. So there. Oh, yeah, speaking of so there it is. Next week I will not be on the air because there's something to do with if you're a student and you have a final during your show or something, you can't be on. I don't know. So there's a stipulation. I won't be on. Enjoy the rebroadcast. So there it is.
This is